So I went on my channel and there's a comment on there. And the comment says, Black Americans are Hebrew. Stay right here and wait for our Father and his Son to take us back. Angel is not an atheist. Angel believes in God. Angel just knows that she does not do anything for you. God helps those that help themselves. You've heard that saying before, right? My ancestors, they prayed to God and she didn't take them back. This is the problem. One of the major problems that people have. I don't believe in organized religion. I don't. I never have. Let me explain why I say I never have. Because even when I was being dragged to church, and even when my father was forcing me to read certain books and things like that. See, my father is a Bobo Shanti Rastafari, and my mother was a Roman Catholic. I never really connected with any type of religion. I just never connected. I couldn't. Something about it just wasn't right for me. I believed in God. I feared God. See, that's the thing. I feared God. I felt like I was afraid. I was scared of God and what God might do to me if I didn't do certain things. You couldn't question God. But the reality was I wasn't ever questioning God. I was questioning words that were written by man, allegedly given to them by God. And there's no way to actually guarantee that these words are coming from God. Then I stepped away from religion. And the reason I stepped away from religion was because I didn't have a connection to religion. I had a connection to God, but not religion. My common sense and my logic told me there has to be a God. I breathe. I have been shot at, and I'm alive. I have witnessed things that tell me there must be a God. And I thought to myself, let me step away from religion. And I looked at a lot of things within myself, and I noticed that I didn't need all of the things like the books, the words, any of these things. I just needed the feeling. I just needed the soul. I needed the spirit. I just needed God. I didn't need any labels. One of the things that my mother always taught me was, even though it says God shall provide, you have to be aware that it says God helps those that help themselves. You can't sit around on your butt just waiting. You can't just sit there waiting for things to happen. My dad used to say, the best thing to do in life is the right thing. The second best thing to do in life is the wrong thing. The worst thing to do in life is nothing. And that always stuck out in my head. Because you can either sit down and do nothing and remain comfortable in an uncomfortable situation, hoping, praying, waiting. And the chances are, if you don't change your life, if you don't change your actions, nothing's going to happen. My dad used to say that when you give life to a dream, you never die. When you give life to a dream, you never die. What does that mean? A dream is an idea. It's a thought process. To give life to that dream, you need actions. Dreams are not going to happen without actions. A dream without actions is simply a dream. That's all it is. It's an imagination. To manifest it, you need actions. So the best thing to do in life is the right thing. The second best thing to do in life is the wrong thing. The worst thing to do in life is nothing. And I'm sorry, praying is not an action. Now, there's nothing wrong with praying. I know people that pray to give them the strength and the courage to grab the energy that they have within them, to push forward and act. Activism. Act. Actions. Acting. Moving forward. Making strides. These are the things that make differences. Waiting on hope means you remain in the exact same position. Let's say hypothetically you have no job and you've got no money, but it's the beginning of the month. And at the end of the month, you've got all your bills to pay. You got your rent to pay. You got your electricity to pay. You got your gas to pay, water to pay. You got all these things to pay, food, everything. But you got no money and no job. What are you going to do? Are you going to pray and hope and wait? You know, the difference between me and that person is I'm going to do something else. I'm going to get up off my ass and I'm going to do something about it. I'm going to get up and I'm going to go get money. I'm going to go by any means necessary. And that's one of the things that I never knock nobody's hustle, regardless of what their hustle is. Understand that when someone says a hustle, we think about a negative connotation like, oh, they must be doing crime. A hustle is a hustle. If you go 9 to 5 every day and you work for somebody, that's a hustle. You are hustling to survive. That's a hustle. I don't knock nobody's hustle. Now, just because somebody may do stick-ups, they might do robberies, they might hustle, they might drug, somebody might be a stripper, somebody might be a webcam model, somebody might be a priest, a pastor, somebody might be a YouTuber, somebody might be a doctor, a nurse, a teacher. That's a hustle. But do you know what they're not doing? They're not doing nothing. They're not sitting around doing nothing. They're doing something because actions are what really count. So this person who says, stay right here and wait for our Father and his Son to take us back, I hope that nobody that follows me, nobody that subscribes to me, nobody that hears this right now would ever take that mentality, whether you are religious or not. See, I don't knock nobody's choices. I may disagree with it, but my thing is this. Don't just sit there. Whether you're in a bad relationship, whether you've got financial issues, whether you're being oppressed, whether you're in a job where your employer is treating you like trash, don't just sit in an uncomfortable situation. Do something. Get up. Make a difference. Make a change. If you don't like something, change it. If something is unfair, change it. But never remain comfortable in an uncomfortable situation, because that's when you settle. And the very moment you settle, that's when you admit defeat. And if you sit there go, oh, well, man, something go change, a change gonna come. Changes do not come, right? Let me explain what I mean by changes do not come. Changes don't come unless you stand up and progress towards it. Make progression filled with actions, consistent actions in order to get results. Sitting here waiting for something to happen, that person that sits there and does nothing, if you turn around and you say, well, you know what? I'm going to send out my resume. I'm going to do all these things. I'm going to apply for all these jobs. But then you pray afterwards and say, I pray that they receive my resume and I pray that the actions that I have done were not in vain. That's very different. See, I can't knock somebody that prays like that. I can't knock somebody that does that. Because you know what they've done? They've put forward actions first. They've made actions. Stay right here and wait for our Father and Son to take us back. Take us where? What, to heaven? To Africa? To Israel? To Jerusalem? To Jordan? To where? Because I know for a fact that everything that I have ever done and ever achieved in my life, I did with actions. And sometimes I did things wrong and I prayed to get myself out of that situation. And you know what happened? I didn't get out of that situation. It didn't work like that because I needed to be punished. I needed to see the error of my ways. I needed to go through certain things in order to learn from my mistakes. And you know, one of the mistakes that I learned from, I learned that doing nothing and sitting right there in an uncomfortable situation gets you nothing but a whole lot more shit. If you are sick and tired of being treated badly, let's look at me, for example. I went from job to job, being disrespected by white employers, being a victim of racism, whether it be subtle, whether it be overt. I went through jobs where I was being overlooked for promotions, doing the work for these people and getting nowhere. So do you know what I said? I said, I'm so sick of working for white people because they don't respect me. They don't appreciate me. And why am I helping making them rich? I'm not giving anything for my community by doing this. So what did I do? I made a conscious decision and a conscious effort to make sure that I either work for myself or work for black organizations. So what did I do? I went and found a black organization to work for, completely black owned, that employed nothing but black people. And little do you know it or not, that didn't work out. It didn't work out. I didn't then go and, well, it didn't work with working for a black organization. Let me go and work for the white man again. No, I went and found another black organization because I was focused on my dream, focused on my goals, focused on what I wanted, because I knew that there's nothing that they could help me with. I didn't give up. I didn't pray. I didn't just stay there, wait around and do nothing. I made actions. But we have to understand that we are people. For one moment, let's remove our race for one moment. Yes, I know that's almost ridiculous, right? To go, what? Remove our race? Yes, we know that we're deemed as, but for one moment, let's just remove our race. Let's just be an individual. Let's just be Lisa. Let's just be J-Man. Let's be Kaya. Let's be Angel. Let's be Nikki. Let's be Bernadette. For one moment, let's be an individual. And before we focus on the entire community, sometimes you got to focus on yourself. Because how can you How can you focus on the community when you ain't right within? How can you help the entire community when you ain't right within? How? How can you be a beacon of light? How can you have a great relationship with your fellow man when you ain't right within, when you ain't got your shit together? How can you be in a relationship with a man or a woman when you ain't right within? So sometimes we have to focus on ourselves. We got to go, okay, all right, I want to help my people. Okay, what can I do to help my people? Help yourself first. Help yourself first. That's the most important thing first. If you want to help your people, you got to help yourself first. And that is the be all and end all of everything. Do you know what? A brother hit me up and we're talking, and he's talking about the Aboriginal Americans, talking about the Hebrews, talking about the Moors and stuff like that. And you know what I said to him? I said, I don't care whether you believe you're a Moor, whether you believe you're an Indian, whether you believe you're a Hebrew, whether you believe you're an elephant, whether you believe you're a cat, whether you believe that dogs brought you here, whether you believe you're from Wakanda. I don't care about none of that. All of that is pointless to me. All I truly care about is tangible solutions, true fixing. That's all I care about. Do you think I care whether Nicole is light skin or Bernadette is dark skin or Heaven Quinones is an Afro-Latino, or whether Shelly is Jamaican or Christian or Muslim or believes this or that? Do you think I care about any of these things? No. The reality is I don't. We may find it comical when we think some people are so lost. Sometimes we have to remove the focus off of our differences and focus on our similarities. And when we focus on our similarities, we are the same people. We are truly the same people. And I'm not talking about white folks. You know who I'm talking about. I'm talking about us. Us who are here right now. We're the same people, going through the same struggles, struggling in the exact same way. That's the issues that we have. And those are the things that unite us. And in order for us to be united, we all have to heal ourselves first. Because I can have 60,000 of you in one room, but if all of you got all your own problems and stuff like that, we've got too many weak links. So before you guys want to stand in the 60,000 strong and say, yes, we are here as a team, as a unit, ready to fight wherever it is that is oppressing us, I'm going to tell you one thing first. Don't ever step into my house, my domain, trying to help me or my people if you yourself are not right within. Because I need you to be right before you can help me. You can't help me if you're not right with yourself. How do we get out of the situation we're in? How do we overpower the system of white supremacy? How do we do this? How do we get into the place that we're supposed to be? You got to get right with yourself first. You got to get right with yourself first. Have you educated yourself on the things that you need to educate yourself? Have you looked at knowledge for yourself and read it for yourself? Have you got yourself financially stable? Have you got yourself mentally stable? Have you got yourself emotionally stable, psychologically stable? Have you dealt with your own depression, with your own stress, with your own paranoia? Have you dealt with self-love and used self-love to conquer self-hate? So I say again, before you can actually turn around and fix the community, before you can turn around and stand up and fix all of the issues within the black community, you got to get right with yourself. Because there's no point if you go to war and every single person within your faction, within your unit has problems. That becomes a weak link in the chain. Stop focusing on, I got to fix everybody else. I got to fix everybody else. Because that can't help anything. You got to fix you first. You got to get right within yourself first. Only then would I say, yes, we're ready. We're ready. How could I say we are ready? And when I say we, we're talking as a collective when you, as a singular unit, as a singular entity, are still fucked. So again, I answer this brother's comment, just wait for God. God will fix everything. I hope. Notice that? I hope. Stay right here and wait for our Father and His Son to take us back. And I ask again, take us where? Do what? How? Until you start asking these questions, because nobody, no man in the sky, no woman in the sky, no energy in the sky is going to help you until you help yourself. God helps those that help themselves. God ain't going to help you until you do something. And anyone that says, how can we help the community? How can we get out of the situation? Ask yourself one question. And that question is, are you ready? Are you ready? Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready to die. I'm ready to fight for my people. No. Are you ready? Are you ready within? The rapper Common had a song. Common said, you'll never find a man till you find yourself. Time helps mistakes you can learn from. Because one man effed up, men you shouldn't turn from. You want a certain type of guy, you got to reach a certain point too. At that destination, a king will anoint you. Going through the storm, anybody sees warm. And let's look at that for this particular situation that we're talking about right now. He says you never find a man until you find yourself. What if we say you'll never get freedom until you're right within, until you have freedom of self within yourself? Time helps mistakes you can learn from. You got to learn from your mistakes. You got to learn from your ancestors' past mistakes. We're asking, what can we do when everybody in the past has told us what to do, what we can do, and they've made mistakes? Time helps. Because one man fucked up, many shouldn't turn from. There are brothers and sisters that didn't make it, that didn't do it. Does that mean we should give up and quit on their fight and their struggle? He then says, you want a certain type of guy, got to reach a certain point too. We could turn around and say, you want to obtain something in your life, freedom, anything, then you have to reach a certain point in you and who you are. And then he says, at that destination, the king will anoint you. Once you're ready, everything you want will come to you. Once you're ready, you got to get ready. You have to do those actions. He says, going through the storm, anybody sees warm. That means when things are hard and life is stressful and you don't have knowledge yourself and you're not truly ready, some of these agents, some of these fakes, some of these frauds will give you things that seem attractive because they give you a sense of belonging. Because at the moment, being African may not seem like it's attractive because that sounds like oppression. That sounds like pain. I don't wait for God. And I don't wait for anyone to fix my issues or my problems. I fix them myself. I do actions. The best thing to do in life is the right thing. The second best thing to do in life is the wrong thing. The worst thing to do in life is nothing. You can focus and sit there and argue about, oh, this is the true religion. That's the true religion. We're not Africans, my brother. We're Hebrews. We're Aboriginals. We're Indians. We're Pakistanis. We're elephants. We're dogs. We're cats. Okay. Now what? Don't talk to me about unity until you got it within yourself, until you're ready within yourself. Because it's deeper than saying that there's a cause. There's a cause that you might believe in. Some of us truly believe in the cause. Some of us truly believe in the fight. We believe in the fight. We believe in this cause. But we're not ready for the cause. We're not ready for the fight because we don't have that fight in us. How are we supposed to move forward? We've got so many issues on an individual level. What are we going to do? Rely on me or rely on Vanette because she's the one that might be strong and have her shit together? No. It's okay to take time out and say, all right, I'm going to take time out and I'm going to get right within and I'm going to fix myself. We live in a real world. The real world. The real world where people get killed, where people are oppressed every single day, where you can't just turn off a video or skip to the next scene, where actions have real consequences, where my people are really being murdered, where people are being deluded, being scammed, being lied to keep them asleep. I live in a real world. We know what the cure is to white supremacy is: Black love, Black economic mobility, Black unity, and Black education. These are the things that we have to look at for ourselves. Because Black love is what stops your oppressor from separating you, from trying to dilute you. And I say this as somebody that has white blood within him. Black love is what creates more soldiers. Black unity keeps us together and gives us a reason. Black education lets us know why we're fighting. Black social economics gives us the freedom to create all these things. It's really that simple, 4 steps. And if we take away any one of these things, we've got issues. If you remove the Black unity, that means you're not unified and you're divided. And that's exactly what white supremacists and the slave masters and the colonizers, that's what they did. They kept people divided, dividing people by language, by culture, by religion, by nationality, so that Black people focus on their differences rather than their similarities. Because as I said before, people would die for their religion before they die for their race or their people. And that's a division. So when you focus on the unity, you become stronger. You're no longer the minority. And you need education. My father would tell me all the time how important education was. I'm from the hood. I'm from Marcy. Well, I have 2 degrees. I don't have a PhD. I'm not a doctor or anything like that. Nothing special. What I learned about true education could not be taught to me from no organization. It couldn't be taught to me by no white man, by no Asian man. The only thing those organizations did was train me. When you are educated by them, you are trained to think, to act, to speak. But when you're truly educated and you truly learn, that's about learning for yourself, being able to think for yourself, speak for yourself, talk for yourself, make decisions for yourself. And Black Love shows the next generation and gives the next generation an example to follow. Black social economics, Black mobility. We live in a world where we have so much emphasis on cash, on money, on things that are materialistic. This is one of the things. We live in their world. It's our world. But at the moment, systemically, we live in their world. And for them to get around, you need pieces of paper. They say you got to fight fire with fire. So we have to make sure that we build. We have to make sure that we spend within our community. I don't wait for anybody. I make things happen. Don't be deluded. There is not no man in the sky about to come down and pick you up from wherever you're sitting and put you in a better position. It doesn't work like that. Go and make it happen. Peace, love, and coconut oil.
Hey man, that's racist. Please remember that from now on, brand new never before seen videos, as well as live streams, will only be available on my website, ikyg.com, via a Patreon subscription. ikyg.com is a Black-owned, Black-ran platform, 100% free from censorship. It's the only place where we don't have to worry about what we say and expressing ourselves. Make sure you check out the description and the comment section for important links, as well as information in video form that shows you what benefits you get when you support the site and join my Patreon. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more, then don't forget to subscribe and be notified every time I upload a video. For exclusive content and perks, check out my Patreon. This is where we have private live streams, group chats, live Q&As, live phone calls, and open topics. This is a safe space where you can interact with other like-minded people, make friends, send each other direct private messages, and so much more without any trolls. And yes, you get to use GIFs and images in the live chats. So what are you waiting for? This is a completely independent website, free from censorship. If you'd like to make a donation towards the site so we can continue to put out the truth without fear of being silenced, then please hit that donation button. It's greatly appreciated. Check out the rest of the site for videos, private and public live streams, find out all the tea, and make sure to utilize the Black Money section of the website. Advertise your business absolutely free to people that look like you, free forever. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram and Twitter at angel_IKYG.